прям кринжатура ебаная, тупорылая, блядь. Я не знаю. Ну, короче, это самая нелепая хуйня, что я видел в своей жизни.
Discord is Cloverfield project, aka BlastPit in Chinese official server. As you may notice from my choice of nickname, I'm a huge Half-Life fan.
Okay. Hi, I'm Blue Signet of the English Backrooms Wikidot, also known as the Backrooms Tech Support, also known as TS, also known as just the Backrooms Wikidot. I'm the head admin, and I've done a lot of writing for the wiki, and I'm very excited to have this interview. So thank you, Arch.
Well, hi, I'm Mel. I'm Mel Raspberry on Discord. No caps, all in one word, and on Wikidot, I'm Mel Raspberry with caps and with a dash between the Mel and the Raspberry. I'm from the French branch, and I've been the master admin of it since, I believe, 2022 or 2023.
Hello everyone! People on Discord know me as Hanalem, also Lemmy if you're on Wikidot. I'm the current admin of Indonesian branch who also doing some important roles on the site. Although I'm busy with plenty of technical stuff, I still write Backrooms pages on the site.
I'm Matisse on Discord on Wikidot too. My nickname is Matisse, but you can call me this Matisse, etc. I'm on Polish wiki Backrooms, and I'm admin staff on Discord and wiki.backrooms Polska.
Okay, so hi there, it's Shadow Ambassador. I am the head admin of Rule Branch. So I am here to answer your questions.
Oh, the thing that drags me into the Backrooms series might not be the same as others, like Backrooms games or King Pixel's amazing Backrooms clips. In a normal guaranteed day of 2020, I was browsing Reddit for some memes, but then a recommendation post pops up in my home feed. It was from r/liminal space. It shows a somehow empty yet eerie and unsettling picture of a corridor with a tag of eerie. You know, I'm a creepypasta and urban legend fan, so I decided to click into that sub and try to understand what a liminal space is and why nearly 2,000 people are upvoting a strange picture of a dark spooky corridor. That was the post which makes me feel into the enormous rabbit hole of liminal space, and after some deep research, Backrooms.
Well, I'll be the first to admit that I did think it was a ripoff of SCP when I first heard of it and saw people playing games of it. So I wasn't really interested in it until in 2023. My husband and his friend were playing Escape the Backrooms, and so I was like, I'll take a look. And I looked it up on Google, just typed in Backrooms Wiki, and fandom appeared, and I tried scrolling through fandom, but I hated the ads. It was very confusing, so I went to the next best option, which was the Backrooms Wikidot, and I started poking around in there, and I liked what I saw, so I joined the Discord, and the rest is kind of history.
So initially, I've been really into horror for as long as I can remember, like even as a child, and I used to be very big on like creepypasta community and specifically things like the Slenderman and stuff like that. I watched all of Marble Hornets when it was coming out, even though I couldn't speak English really well because I was a child. And after that, I found about the SCP Wiki pretty naturally. And from one thing to another, I got into the SCP Wiki on the French branch, I got into weird core communities, and when the Backrooms started, I was interested in it, but I didn't see much of the appeal at first, I'll be honest. And then I saw people start to actually make things beyond the yellow halls, and I found out we had a French branch through Wikidot, and I ended up getting on there the very, like, a day before a big French YouTuber made a video about the Backrooms, and it put the Wikidot in there. So technically I came in at a time where we had a rush of people coming in. But I was actually there like a day before, so it's a bit funny. But yeah, Creepypasta, Slenderman, SCP, Weirdcore, Backrooms, basically.
This one is quite a history. Also the reason why ID branch exists. Yes, I also the founder of the branch. First, it was my friend who introduced me about the backrooms. I was immediately interested because Otherworld always on my area of interest. Then, both of us created the server. And now, here we are.
I was looking for a Backrooms wiki, Polish Backrooms wiki, but I couldn't find it. So I typed that on English Backrooms wiki if there is Polish one. So Manganian texted me, "Hey, you wanna join?" And there I am.
It's a long story and it started a while ago. Okay, I will make it short. I joined Backrooms community a little after its birth, like in May of 2021. And I already mentioned all of this in newspaper, in our newspaper, in Interview with Yuki. But my initial goal in joining was to make sure that my imagination, my greatest skill of all, is fully functioning and it's really good, I think. Um, by the point of joining, I already had several game scenarios and lore stuff, and they never make past the production stage, so it's only was scenarios and lore stuff, you know. And I wanna make texts with fiction which I can show to many people to ensure that my story writing is in a good shape, you know. So yeah, I write some articles, and after I was fully hooked by Backrooms.
I have several answers depending on the periods of time. I will start from very early stage, like 2021, of Chinese Backrooms wiki. During that time, nobody exactly knew how to write a good Backrooms entity on our own. And then a figure showed up, Claire Walker. She plays a vital role of the early lore and canon development of Chinese Backrooms wiki community. Without her, almost 30% of our most popular levels, objects and group of interests will cease to exist. She's also the author of level C100, the winner of C100 level contest, in which describes a wholesome, heartwarming in-universe story of how Backrooms fandom and Backrooms wiki community turn from being hostile to each other to get along well in level C100. This little story also makes us, Chinese wiki community, and fandom community become official sister site, and up until now, it's still the highest rating page in our wiki. Another person I highly look up to is Hoa2333, who is still active nowadays. He contributes several nearly magical CC themes, mechanics, components and lots of useful stuff during the early stage of wiki. He is also the senior developer of our wiki entry passcode system, which shields our wiki from uncomfortable attackers and script kiddies during the stressful period. As for a rising stage post 2022 of wiki, my first choice would be absolutely Emberside. She is a dedicated author, CSS developer, translator, artist, and now an honorable, respected admin of our wiki. During that stage, she contributed almost 200 original articles, translations, and even several arts, of which 6 or 7 entries break the 100 votes barrier up until now. She is a really good storyteller, which makes Backrooms feels more real than ever. I mean, who will not get moved for such a passionate all-founder in your wiki? Another one is Peder, one of our first member selected admin. He is the biggest contributor of our wiki's sideshow, tag system and guide hub. If our wiki is a human, it was him who created the backbone of him. He is also one of the most passionate translators and admin back to this day. His name is still famous among many Chinese Backrooms community because there's strict yet humane management.
Well, the level that actually got me into the Backrooms was level 6 because I really liked the twist that it had at the end, because I had been poking through and a lot of the levels just weren't very interesting to me, but level 6 is where I was like, oh, okay, this place has potential, people are trying here, and so that's what got me to join to find out more. And that level was written by Bartonius on Wikidot. And I didn't really talk to them. I don't know. I didn't have anyone who I really looked up to in terms of like emulating things. I just kind of was like, I'm gonna do my own thing, see what I can push at the boundaries. But I'd say that one of the people who've definitely helped me out is Divine Atlas. He's another admin, and Praetor, who is another admin from both the English branch and the French branch. So they're definitely the people who keep me writing and keep me going.
Oh God. That question is a little bit hard because a few of the people that I really liked the work of were early authors of the community that we had to put away from the community for very good reasons. So I'd rather not talk about those. However, people that did push me in the right direction to make it so that I could have better ideas or feel more confident in throwing weirder things into the Backrooms are people like Alba, and more recently people like Prater, and yeah, they're great. Go read their pages.
This community was pretty isolated back then, so I looked up for new members. I managed to invite some friends from other server, although it still wasn't enough. Server still feels empty. Then I tried to find any YouTuber, especially the local one. Well, the members of mine did found a local YouTuber who covers the Backrooms, but that YouTuber ghosted us. I also tried to find any fellow Backrooms fans from Indonesia on both Wikidot and Fandom, but I was unable to find them on both Wiki, at least some years later. Maybe on our second year, I guess.
Firstly, for me, it was Spiderhome. He was a Polish greenlighter. Unfortunately, he isn't anymore in our Wikidot. And he was good man. He helped a lot with translations, originals. So he did a great job for our wiki.
Like what inspired my work, you say? I suppose it's Aesthetic Gamer. It's known as Das Golem. By the way, I totally forgot about my meet with Backrooms. That your last question. I learned about level 0, not knowing it was a backroom, through his game, Red Haze, which is the best game in my entire life, I suppose. But the cool thing in all of this was that level 0 in his game in Red Haze was exactly the same as an original. Um, so yeah, what I was talking about. Yes, regarding my inspiration. Exactly. I wanna say that Aesthetic Gamer Works is one of the main source. He has great storytelling skills, and his all level designing and I suppose all storytelling things is great. So yeah, this vibe of gloomy and dark stages of everyone minds and life is a great inspiration for my works. If you're asking about wiki works, I don't look up to or for someone. Imagination is your main weapon, and in all plane of fiction, it's only by yourself, and you can't relate to someone. You must do it all yourself, or it's not your entire work, not your flow of mind, you know. And you should do everything without someone who will guide you, I suppose. If you wanna ask me about my first level that I found interesting and mm, I don't know, not interesting, like inspirational in some way, I would answer it's all the works like level 14 Heaven. Uh, all these levels, I mean, with some kind of double bottom lore. I like them the most. All my works, old works especially, is just levels. I mean articles, with double bottom and the hidden ends. You know, not ends by mean of exits from level, but yeah, it's like I forgot how it will be in English. You know, I mean, it's hidden lore, this stuff. Enigma vibe, you know. Okay, that's the main thing about this all. So yeah.
Another good question. First of all, because of the establishment of Backrooms Chinese wiki, I have almost no additional time to dive into other languages Backrooms communities, including the English community. So I will just focus on Chinese Backrooms. To me, the most popular and well-known stage of Chinese Backrooms community was 2022 up until 2023, thanks to Kane Pixels and many Backroom-themed games. After this time, the community begins to shrink, active contributors are deceasing, and lesser new people join our wiki. However, we managed to survive because of our unique canons and lore, for example Speed Clippers, Dragonblood Clan, and undoubtedly the RED series, which is the abbreviation for Regional Extreme Disastrous Entities. Some of them even was translated and became popular in other languages of Backrooms communities. So in short, I think if a community wants to keep its growth and influence, a unique interesting canon or lore or format is needed, based on my own experience. Oh, and also, be kind to those old articles. They also play a vital role in attracting new people to your wiki.
I think current development is kind of it's kind of interesting to me because of how many times we've split from different places. You know, first it was the Reddit, and people wanted a little bit more than you can do on Reddit. Wanted images, wanted something that stays. So from what from what I can understand, since I wasn't around for it, they moved to fandom, and then because fandom struggled with quality and kind of taking itself seriously, then the Wikidot split and off. And then because people hated the administration of the Wikidot, LA Liminal Archives was created. And then because people have their own spin on everything, so many other splinter wikis have been created. And I think it's like that's the best thing and the worst thing for the community, right? Because the wonderful thing about there not being a singular place to write is that your ideas, no matter where you are valid. You can, if you love just doing the clinical tone, you could probably find a wiki that goes back to clinical tone and is just writing that. If you want to get a little weird and experimental, our wiki, the English Wikidot, is really good because we really encourage people to push the boundaries of what a story is, to push the boundaries of what a backroom story is, and to push the boundaries of what a level is. And, like, it is a good thing. I consider it a good thing, but also it's kind of frustrating, right? Because for us in the English wiki, we constantly have people saying, oh, your stuff isn't backroomsy enough, and oh, the Wikidot doesn't know what the backrooms are anymore, and, kind of like the frustration of when you're constantly being compared to SCP, you constantly have people saying that your version isn't the correct version, but I think that's the beauty, that there is no correct version. The only thing that is canon is the original copy pasta. Everything else is just headcanons, fan fiction, the expansion of that, but it's all unofficial, right? The Backrooms no longer belongs to the person who wrote it in a way, right? It belongs to everyone who's added ideas to it, who tries to do something new with it, who tries to make it tries to share their version and explain why they think it's interesting. So that's what I love about it. And then even like within our wiki, we have the language branches, and they all have hush kitty cat. They all have their own kind of spin on it.
Okay, about the current development of the Backrooms, I think I'm extremely happy, like extremely thankful that we got out of the phase where we had everyone doing clinical writing and boxing themselves into that idea of being the SCP of weird rooms, if it makes sense. I'm very happy to see people try sorry. Ooh, sorry. I'm very happy to see people try weirder things, also because that's more of what I do, or what I try to do. And I'm very glad also that even though we have still a lot of young members, which makes sense, we're a horror community on the internet, there's gonna be like teenagers everywhere. It's normal. But I remember back in like 2022, 2023 even, we had so many small like skirmishes and infighting and everything, and people have calmed down on it, and I'm very proud of what we managed to do, despite the fact that there is always this sense of like competition, I think, but it's mostly the younger members doing it because they don't realize yet that it's not all that serious. But I'm very like happy that a lot of people that I saw being very competitive back in the day, or being very harsh with others back in the day, calm down and settle into authors that are more comfortable in their work. Also, I'm fascinated by the amount of stuff that I see coming out every day. I don't have the time to be up to date. I do not. I was at one point like years ago. I'm not anymore, and I don't think I'll ever be again. But I don't mind it, and I think that's great that we have so many people and so many talented people that are willing to add something that I don't have the time anymore to be up to date.
If it's about the end, well, that's quite a hard one. I don't have many stuff to say about the end, I rarely visit them, and I only heard many news about how random and not so favorable they could be. I just hope they aren't gonna do something stupid that will make a lot of people get pissed off, like how the branches have some sort of beef against them. On our side, we are pretty chill with everything because our wiki has been separated from EN since long time ago, so anything happen on EN wouldn't affect us. About IT branch, this branch has become a small but active world building community who have a wiki as their side project.
Currently, Backrooms is kinda dead. Wikidot is dead, but community is still alive and still trying to exist on rating sites, etc. How I can say that? Probably after Came Pixel's new movie about Backrooms, it will grow up a little, so it depends how people feel about Backrooms and horror itself, because it is kind of horror, liminal things, Backrooms. So, SCP is here and always will be, and we can't just take people from it because people just won't read, making video about everything what they are interested to. So right now it is kind of dead, but it can grow up in the future.
And Chinese community has great abilities. They have like now they have one of the interesting ideas for event. Their event with how they named it, like cinema style, cinema lore and script writing thing. That part. It's kind of interesting concept, and I would even like to make something like that in my wiki. So yeah. But there is some communities that will eventually die or will be lost to due low community involvement and other things. I suppose we all know which community is already dead and which one is breathing its last breaths. It's kind of shameful and bad that this thing happens, but yeah. I wish to all of communities great success, but unfortunately not everyone have such great manpower and dedicated people to write exactly on their languages. So also I would say that I can't say anything about English community because their ending is also so unpredicted, so I can't even tell which way they will go in like 1 year, even 1 month, I suppose. Their rewritings and other stuff, which is like rebuilding Backrooms from block to blocks, is so uncertain in many ways. Yeah. And about our development, I suppose we will at least we will stay as we are. We stabilized like year ago or something like that. We have some dedicated writers which write many articles about any stuff. We have some dedicated translators which translate many articles from other languages. One thing that I wanna in our branch is some translators with knowledge of like not only English, like French. You know what I mean? Like to translate French levels, like to translate Polish levels, like to translate Chinese even. You know, yeah. So if we have more people, we would prosper much higher and much stronger. But I suppose that is how it is.
There are several ideas that I want and am considering to apply. The age barrier, which is arguably the most controversial change among C and Wiki staff team. Currently, we have set it to 17 years old, lowest for submitting application. However, because of the nature of Backrooms itself, a huge amount of Backrooms fans outside of Wiki were Gen Alpha, and some of them do had a great potential to become a decent writer or artist. However, considering the general immaturity of these people, we had to block them from our wiki because there were several terrible incidents and harassment happening on our wiki. So, to protect them and us, we never, and likely will never, make a change on this. Second is the green light system. Don't be surprised, the CN staff team did seriously consider implementing this to our wiki in the past. However, it turned out a terrible choice if we implemented it. I think you know what I'm talking. Third is site management bots. Well, to be honest, this is almost finished by the time we are talking. It was a Discord bot designed to turn the terrible EOL wiki.dot management panel into several simple commands. It was fully developed by myself with the help of Azure Reactive, one of our beloved tech nerds and also a Python master. Now it would automatically update featured articles, art, and invite or ban and remove members. I might add some more feature like automatically deletes the article that meets the deletion rules, bridge the site applications to our admin channels, so that our staff will manage them directly in Discord without open the slow, clunky wiki.dot. It's also my proudest invention.
That's a hard one. Mostly because I'm the kind of person who, if I see a problem, I want to fix it, right? So I guess the biggest thing I'd want to see changed is people not using generative artificial intelligence like ChatGPT to enter in the wiki. And I just can't stop people from doing that, right? That's the thing I can't fix, because I can't change the motivation of new people wanting to be recognized. And I think that's really all it is, right? When people use generative AI, they want to take a shortcut because writing is hard. I'm not going to deny that. I have a degree in creative writing, and I still want to pull my teeth and hair out sometimes when things aren't going easy. But that's kind of the view that I see, is that they're frustrated because they want to be recognized as a part of the community. They want to be respected as someone who adds to the community in a meaningful way. And if you're first starting out, it can feel really scary. Getting critique, getting feedback on how to change your page, especially because I'm assuming that they're new writers, so they haven't gotten like a shell. They haven't figured out yet how to take their work, look at it in an objective way, and not feel like every criticism is a criticism of their worth as a person, you know? And I can't change that because, unfortunately, the cat's out of the bag on that one. People are going to use generative AI for everything. And while I can see where it has some uses, I think in such a small community, I feel like they really I just want to see them put the work in. I want them to know that even if it's not the best written, I still love it because they put their heart and soul into it if they wrote it themselves, right? If it's got spelling errors, that's okay. That takes time to learn. If it's got grammatical errors, we can fix that, right? But at the end of the day, I just want to feel their soul in their works and not some bland machine that doesn't understand what makes the Backrooms interesting, right? Only a human, I think, can truly feel and express what it means to be in the Backrooms, whether they see it as a place that's horrifying, that's terrifying, or if they see it as a place with potential and wonder. So I guess that's the thing I change, is people would stop using generative AI when they're brand new to the community. But I can't change that because unfortunately I have no power over those companies. So
I have two answers, a serious one and a funny one. The funny one is that we haven't updated the copyright since 2024. Well, I haven't changed it yet because I keep forgetting to do it. I'm gonna mandate another admin to do it. No, I'm gonna do it myself maybe. But we entirely forgot to put 2026 in the, Wikida, blah blah blah, 2021 to 2020 whatever. So we're technically stuck in 2024 because we forgot. We didn't change it yet because we forgot. But the other thing that I would like to change, the serious answer, the more serious answer is that I would want us to have more activity, which is something that we're working on, but it's slow and it's complicated, and we lost all momentum for several reasons that we're working on. And that's something that's going to have to be gradually changed, which is why it's taking a while. And another thing that I would kind of want to change on FR is that we're a bit uncoordinated when we do things sometimes. By that, I don't mean that we're going like everywhere, doing everything like in very chaotic ways. It's more, I feel like we could harmonize little things. Like when we translate, do we translate that specific word that's always the same in English, Russian, Chinese, whatever, this way or this way? Okay, everyone uses that version of it. That works, and that makes it look a bit more cohesive, if it makes sense. Like earlier in the last week, we had the debate over if wanderer in French should take a capital letter at the beginning of it or not. Like, should it be capitalized? And we haven't fixed that yet. Like, we haven't decided that yet because it changes if it's a proper noun or not and the implications of it and all that. And I wish we could harmonize a bit more the way that we work. But it will take time, and we just need like someone to wrangle the entire wiki and be like, hey, so what do we do? So I think most of the things that I would like to change are dependent on time and slow change.
We already changed a lot of things on our wiki. No wonder our wiki becomes so different than the rest. The things that haven't got changed is some small updates that I still unable to apply it because I can't find any free time to do it. Alone free time, I mean.
We don't have issues with community, so this question is for me kind of hard. Our Greenland policy is under rewrite, so this is main task for us. Before we had before a Greenland policy, but it is outdated, and because of that, we have few new originals on our wiki, so I would change greenlight policy on our wiki.
I had exactly that question, like again in our annual newspaper from UKIM. So I suppose I would add something like translations hub. I would add something like not just like we had not having that, not have that already. It's forum like board, image board, for levels and other stuff, but we have it in very plain and lame condition. I would add more stuff into it, but again, as I already said and answered it, any work related to what we haven't done yet is all due to lack of our staff members. The implementation of these works is hard exercise, and we cannot and will not split into many passes and branches of our works, because if we do that, we can't end anything with our human how would say human resources. You know what I mean by that. So yeah, we do little and make it great. I suppose this is the most right way to do that. Like it said in Russian, "Тише едешь, дальше будешь." I forgot how it will be in English.
Well, again, as the same reason I will only focus on the Chinese wiki. To me, Backrooms and Wiki is now a peaceful, thriving community that not only writing stories about the Backrooms, but also a playground that incubates all form of media about Backrooms. Currently we already have writers that create amazing tales, artists that draw great arts and music, and even several developers that create Backrooms games on their own. So I believe that our community will continue to thrive until the last server of internet goes down.
Well, I think for our wiki, we're going to have more and more experimental pages, just because that's what I encourage people to see, right? And that's what's working on our wiki right now. I think eventually we're getting to a place where, yes, we're in SCP's shadow a little bit, but we're also kind of breaking free of that because we've kind of figured out who we are. We're a place where you write backrooms fiction. It doesn't have to be clinical tone. It's a very open place. And we want people to be able to critique and post their page. We want our places kind of become a very nice place for people to get critique on their writing. And so I hope, fingers crossed, that continues to be true. I really don't want us backsliding into the drama that we've had in the past, because we try as a staff team to make it a place that's relatively free of drama, and we try to listen to our community, or at least I try to listen to the criticisms that we get, and if they have a point, then I try to change it. So so long as I'm head admin, I can see that continuing. I think for all wikis, as time goes on and we start to experiment more and just be part and just have our own voices in our writing, I think that we're gonna be compared less and less to SCP. And then when the Backrooms movie comes out, I think there will be some backsliding with a newbie boom. And I'm honestly worried that we're gonna keep up with all of the new people who want to join and post levels and who have a preconceived notion of what our wiki wants. So that part I'm kind of terrified for and excited for. The Kane Pixels Backrooms movie. So I think that's something that we're all just gonna have to deal with, right? All wikis, because his version of the Backrooms will be suddenly the most talked about, and so people are gonna come and they're gonna be like, "Where's the bacteria? Where's async? Where's whatever he puts in his movie?" And we'll have to be like, "Well, no, he didn't create the Backrooms. His is only an interpretation that got picked up by A24. We've been doing our own thing for just as long. He's just the one who has more popularity." But I don't know, I'm kind of excited to see what the Backrooms becomes in the coming years, because a lot of analysis of it and why it became so popular is because of COVID. So I'm curious to see what world events happen that influences people's writing, and I'm scared and terrified, but also excited to see what people come up with, you know?
For the French branch specifically, I think we are on a track that I did not expect us to be back on yet, which is the track of having some slow but good activity. What I mean by that is that for a while we didn't have anything going on. We had people saying, "Oh yeah, we should do this or we should do that," but no one doing anything. And people, the past 3 weeks or so, maybe a month, have slowly started getting back on their feet on doing things. And I think we're not gonna be like extremely active in the future, but we're gonna be active, and I think that's what matters. For the rest of the wiki, for the English branch, I think they're gonna keep expanding. There's no way that when you're on that kind of track, you're not gonna keep expanding and you're not gonna become like bigger and bigger. But I think we're gonna see, as I said before, we're gonna see more and more people getting more confident in the way that they write and more confident that they can do strange things, and that they can go in weird directions and everything. And I think that's awesome, and I'm very like excited about the idea of having people doing weirder and weirder things. For other branches that are not the French or the English one, I'm not on them, or I'm not aware much of what they do. But I've heard like great things about a lot of them, and I really hope that they keep also expanding, not necessarily to be like massive like the English branches, but I think that I can see them reach a place where they're comfortable with a few authors that do things from time to time, and just being nice places for the people that write in it.
The future of my wiki? Dark, because me and my members will keep move on in life. But we're still alive though, because current active members prefer to hang out here somehow. Maybe because of the friendship or something else, and I'll keep being there among them. The others, the big will keep brighter, the small will keep dimmer. The wiki might be dead, but the community is still alive. Some branches are already like that, except something big happened and turned that branch back to life.
I need to think if it's all realistic way or imagination. I hope that our wiki and Indonesian, Russian, Vietnamese wiki will be more recognized than now. because someone will read Backrooms, of course, English Backrooms, wow, cool, but what about us? What about Polish wiki, Russian, Vietnamese, Indonesian, Thai? There are a lot of authors and creators, this is the same, translators, but no one see them. We doing translations and originals only for us or small group of people. Even our Polish people don't see our works because they see English. Okay, there is backrooms, and go away. That's it. I imagine our wiki and other small wikis to be more recognizable. More recognizable, I guess. Just this. Just that.
So about future of wiki and other wiki. I answered it in this interview already, so let's divide my answers into groups, and I will make it easy to understand. So, if you have great stuff, you are doing right things, your movements in world of changes is not graded with hatred and other stuff, and your creations, I mean not creations but implementations in wiki is not bad but good. So if you are that type of person, then your wiki will prosper. So you need many men, and that many men must love your work and wish to do their work, I mean, yeah. So you will prosper. I can name example of that wiki. It's Chinese branch. Second, if you making some improvements and you have not many people but some people who like their work and love to make some interesting things in backrooms, and you have great community but it's not like too big or too how to say vigorated, I suppose, something like that. So they're not so alive by any means. Your wiki will stagnate mostly, but if you are good in your position and your wiki is not dying, you will improve. So it's example of our wiki. We haven't so much newcomers, but we have some newcomers. We improve ourselves and write articles, and we have some events and other stuff, so we are like stagnating plus, I suppose, the status of our life. We are like no, you know what I mean. It's like middle grounds of all things. It's not bad, but it's not like super great like in Chinese version of wiki. And you have wikis which will die eventually because of their lack of resources, like a lack of staff members, or their misdeeds and things that gone totally wrong with them. I can say examples but would not, because I totally forgot which wiki is already dead. So if you help me, Arsh, I will say some of them which died or for incompetence from admins and stuff from wiki, or because there was small. I can say that like some Esperanto wiki is dead by that means, but it's not like good example for that, you know.
Out of universe, those predators and harassers hidden in plain sight, and those hatred from other Wikidot communities. In universe, nothing. Every entries, canon and stories are priceless gems that should never be deleted or rewritten.
I think I would move the idea that everything has to follow a format. I think the the pattern can be helpful to people, but also I think it puts unnecessary restrictions on beginning writers. So they're struggling with having an interesting voice when they use plain clinical tone in this format that's kind of there, and are like kneecapping themselves because they can't use, or they think they can't use, like allusion, metaphor, simile, descriptive languages. I think that I would remove the report-like format, or the idea that everything has to be there, right? And that's something that I'm working on in my wiki, because usually they're not very well written. They take all of the interesting parts of a level or an entity or an object or whatever they're writing, and they strip the voice from it because that's how it's written. That's just the style that it requires, but it stops them from using so many rhetorical tools that it makes things uninteresting. So there's my actual answer. I think my silly answer would also be McTorn's interpretation of the Pantheon. I think he just hit. Oh, some of my worst days as an admin were because of him. I would just remove his influence, I guess, and be done with it.
Oh god, if I could remove one thing from the Backrooms, what would it be and why? There's a few things that I don't like, but I don't know if I would remove them in the wiki. But if I could like make it so that no one ever makes another AI generated TikTok of a Backrooms level with fallen down from Undertale in the back and a TTS voice, I would gladly snap my fingers to make it happen, because Jesus Christ. And also, I kind of wish that there wasn't an oversaturation of yellow hallway games. That might be on me, but I feel like people think, oh yeah, it's easy to make the new Enter the Backrooms, and they try to throw themselves at it. And I wish they would just take a moment, take a breather, realize you don't have to make the new security bridge or the new Enter the Backrooms right away, and that you can take your time. So yeah.
Hard one. I already enough with Backrooms concept on my side, but if it's about Backrooms globally, then can't people go back to the root? All this stuff makes the Backrooms turned into a niche on internet to become, yeah, we know, yeah, kind of biased by the purists, isn't it?
Good question. Dang. What I would remove? In our wiki, we remove that if entity is only on one level, it can't be written in article. It needs to be written in level. So I would delete everywhere, because why there is a entity written on another article if you can read it on level? Also phenomenon. Phenomenon objects if can't be taken out of level. Also, there is one thing which is kinda nah, canons, because there is a lot of canons. Okay, this is cool, but they are wait. It's hard to put them together and read them normally. There is canon about this, and they can be a part of each other. So I think I would remove niepotrzebne. Unnecessary canons and necessary articles about entities and phenomenon if they are in one level. That's it. It's huge topic. If level is trash, absolute trash, I can say level because I don't know if I can. Okay. For example, level 34. It is so short. It tell you almost nothing. Also, old level 49. I thank to English wiki that they rewritten this level. Now this is beautiful for me. Of course, I know people who don't like it. Of course, we can see levels that why this is trimmed, why this is too rewrite. For example, level 0. This is antique. We can't touch this beautiful backroom thing. Why you want to just rewrite this? So this hard topic. There are many levels that are rewritten. That's so good. They are rewritten, but there are levels that shouldn't be rewritten for me. Of course, and English wiki is English wiki, and I can't interact with it. But this is very hard for our translators and another translators. For example, Russian translators, Indonesian translators. They are even making own translations about English wiki. So this hard topic. This is just hard topic.
Okay, so I have many things that I would remove. I will give you top 3 of them. Firstly, I will remove any new translations. I mean, not just translations. I would remove everything that was rewritten, because it's literally loss of its original concept, total loss of its original concept. Secondly, it's total loss of any work that do all the stuff that translate all of these articles. And third, I don't know, it's feel not right. It's like, this new level 11 is totally gross. It's like not Backrooms, it's like My Little Pony, but in liminal space. You know what I mean. It's all dread that you can feel in Backrooms, in horror, horror stuff is totally lost in sauce. So firstly, I will remove all rewritings of old levels. Secondly, I will remove every romantic line and romantic lores in all of articles, because it's mostly cringy, it's like every time it's cringe, just cringe. You can't feel anything about that. I suppose there is some good exceptions with drama and other stuff, because Backrooms is not place where you will grow in big farmhouse with pink grass and other pinky stuff like butterflies and other thing. This is a place where you will die eventually because of much losses that you will prevail in all your life. In this place there is no way to build a romantic relationship. Some of drama relationships though again is bad because it's too artistic. I don't know how to say it's edgy, you know what I mean? It's like highly, because it's good drama but it's bad written. It's, you know, you just delete all romantic stuff. You can't write them well in Backrooms style. So yeah, it's second thing that I would remove, totally would remove. Third stuff that I would remove is CBS, because when Dewell created all scenes, he created CBS, which contain all 7 scenes that which was already, you know, existed in our world, and this stuff CBS was created only to kill people and made them lose their minds, you know. Yeah. So that's all I want to remove.